Before Chicago basketball fans fell in love and wanted to be like Mike, the Chicago basketball scene belonged to my man Reggie Theus. The young man from UNLV came to Chicago, took this city by storm, not just the basketball world, but the entire city. The worst trade in the Chicago Bulls history sent him to
Mm.
Kansas City. It is a pleasure to bring in my buddy Reggie Theus, had the nickname Rush Street Reggie.
There
How
you
you doing,
go.
Reg? How
Man,
you
I'm
doing?
good. I'm good. I
Yeah.
don't hear that name very often anymore.
Oh, Rush Street Reggie, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
hey,
yeah.
hey, did you
It's
did
good
you
to see
like
you, man.
that?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, yeah, it's good to see you. You're looking good as
Uh,
usual.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I missed you during the All-Star game, but
That's right.
you're looking good. You're looking
You,
great.
that's because when I came to the city, you kicked me to the curb.
That one day I
Yeah,
didn't know you
yeah,
were here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No.
Hey, did you like that name, Rush Street Reggie? Because you were like 20 years old.
Yeah, no, it was cool then.
Yeah.
When you get to be 40, 50, and 60, being called Rush Street Reggie is not the same thing. So, life
Uh,
changes. But at
yeah,
the
your
time,
life changes.
yeah, life was fun then. It was different, different
Mm-hmm.
mindset. And I was on Rush Street quite a bit, actually. So,
Well, that's how you
it
got the
is.
name.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Hey, was it difficult being the front face of the Chicago Bulls franchise at your young age? Because let's face it, women loved you, men
Mm,
wanted to be you. You had billboards, commercials. You were the face of this franchise before
yeah.
Michael Jordan. But was that difficult because you were so young?
You know what? I was 19 when I first came to Chicago. And, I was just playing basketball and having fun. The
Mm.
city of Chicago sort of adopted me, and it was just a great relationship. I had such a wonderful relationship with the fans in the city, and whatever was going on, I was just wanting to be a part of it. So,
Mhm.
was it difficult? I was just living, and I was playing ball and having a good time. So, it was difficult losing because, through my college career, I only lost 12 games my whole time I was in college. And
Ooh.
in high school, I didn't lose very much either. So when I came to Chicago, I had to learn a different mentality and a different way of doing things. Um, and of course, it was the first year we had like 200 inches of snow that year. It was some record-breaking year snow-wise. So yeah, it was difficult in that way. But as far as being the face of the franchise, it was, I tell people all the time, even today, and my career was interesting in this respect, Kenny, because I was an upper echelon player, but I played on a lot of bad teams.
Right.
So I got to see the really great part of the NBA and sort of take a lot of the crap at the same time. So
Mhm.
I thought it helped me give me a great perspective of life and basketball, and really prepare me for after basketball in a lot of ways, especially going into broadcasting and things of that nature.
Did you get the respect that you deserved? I mean, let's face it, you scored 19,000 points,
Yeah,
handed out 6,000 assists. If you played today, you're making $15 million easy. I
man.
don't
See,
know
I was having a good day. I was having a good day till you bring that up.
yeah, see,
Yeah,
I don't think
no,
you get the respect as a
yeah,
player because people think of you as the movie star and the
right.
broadcaster.
Kenny, it's difficult because people see me as a scorer, and then they didn't know I had so many assists. They didn't know that my shooting percentage. There's a lot of things people didn't know about my game and me in general because we didn't play on Sundays.
Right.
We didn't play on national TV. We didn't get that type of visual. So no, there's a lot of things that probably got lost in all of that, and you always have to put a lot on winning. But winning is not just because of one guy. It takes a team. As much as we all love Michael Jordan, Michael
Right.
didn't win until he got a team.
Right.
Until he got the pieces to blend together. I was always hoping to be one of those pieces, by the way.
Yeah. Which would have been a great backcourt because
Yeah,
he came the year after you left. Would have
yeah,
been a
no,
great backcourt.
yeah. I could have been Kerr or Paxton or one of those guys, which would have been
Yeah.
fine with me.
Mhm.
Um, But no, a lot of people, they don't really know my numbers. They when you compare them to the rest of the league and guys who are in the Hall of Fame and different types of things, you always get this like, wow, I didn't know. Well,
yeah. Well, you have numbers that could get you into the Hall of Fame because remember, you had great collegiate numbers as well. Right. At UNLV and great high school numbers, and it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame. I mean, one day you could get there. You really could.
You never know. It takes, it's political. It takes time, and whenever it happens, if it happens, it's great. There's the one thing about basketball is like you always want those things, but you're not in control of them.
Right.
And people who really know basketball know my career and know what I meant to the franchise. And the unfortunate side is I got traded for the wrong reasons. And, there was no reason to trade Reggie Theus at that time, and I really thought I was going to be a Chicago Bull for my entire career. That's what I was hoping.
Well, let's talk about that. I mean, you're the face of the franchise. You're a two-time NBA All-Star. Kevin Lockery comes in, and all of a sudden, you're on the bench. Which is the dumbest thing in the world. I mean, you know what? Lockery may have been a village idiot, but I blame my buddy Rod Thorne because Thorne's got to go to him and say, hey, look, this is the best player in our franchise. I don't care if you don't like him or you're jealous of him. Play him. Yeah,
our buddy, Rod Thorne. Yeah. Rod and I had a great relationship. And, him and Kevin were friends too. It's a tough situation back in those days with Chicago because they had, I had 6 coaches in my first 5 years of the league. And the Bulls were on the 3rd coach. So they didn't have a lot of leeway with Kevin Lockery. Kevin knew they couldn't fire him because then they're not going to be paying 4 coaches at one time. So I think he took advantage of that. I, to this day, really don't know why that all happened. I said it when I was there. I still don't know what really happened and why Kevin wanted to trade me so badly when the organization didn't want to. And,
right. So that's when they step up and say, we're not trading them. That's when Thorne should have came. Or if they trade you, they get more than Steve Johnson for you.
Well, they killed my value by sitting me on the bench for so long.
Right.
It made me seem like I was a bad guy or, that there was something wrong or something. And they killed the value. They did not execute that well at all. But, I love the Bulls organization. Chicago is still one of my favorite cities of all time. And, the one thing I love about Chicago is no matter how long I've been gone, when I come back to Chicago, people always make me feel at home, which I think is unbelievable.
Yeah.
That just proves that the relationship was that strong.
After basketball, you went into coaching. Yeah. Why did you get that bug for coaching?
Well, after basketball, I started studying acting, probably 5 years, 3 or 4 years before I retired. Then I went into the broadcasting, and it was amazing because, and I didn't know this at the time, those acting classes really helped me in the broadcasting because it taught me how to utilize the camera, it taught me what, not to be afraid of the camera and to really be myself in front of it, be able to be silly or have fun, but yet still get out the information. And it taught me a lot about being, on camera and being myself and what we call like spontaneous rehearsal, because that's what you have to do a lot of times. It wasn't until I was in broadcasting 4, 5, 6 years that I realized I had so much basketball information that I was sort of coming out of me, and I wanted to be on the floor. And, working with Mike Fratello, Hubie Brown and all the different coaches, and you realize as a young player that just as much basketball as they know. You may not be able to articulate it quite the same. You don't know the mechanisms to get from A to B like a coach does, but those are all things that you learn. But at the same time, it's getting into the coaching that really is an important part. And wanting to be a coach is one thing. Actually doing the work to become one is another. And when I got back on the floor teaching, I volunteered at a D2 school, Cal State LA, And when I got back on the floor teaching basketball, I was the happiest I had been in my young life, my after basketball life. And just being a part of the game and being on the floor, I realized that this is what I wanted to do. So I pursued it pretty hard. It wasn't easy. I had a hard time becoming a coach. I got turned down many times, but just stay after it. And what happens is, they thought I was Hollywood. They thought I was, I wanted to be in TV. I wanted to be broadcaster. Are you serious? You want to be a coach? You think you want to do all this? I'm like, to me, it was a no-brainer. That's who I am. I'm a basketball guy before I'm anything else. So it came natural, and it was fun. And being able to communicate with the players was one of my biggest fortes.
Did you have more fun on the collegiate level or when you coached the Kings in the NBA?
They're very different. I enjoy college because I enjoy the having your hands really involved in the organization. Like when you're a college coach, you are the CEO of the entire program. The program is yours. You do every aspect of the program. And that was something that I really enjoyed, having some type of control. And, Kenny, you know me, I've always been the mentoring type. So having something to do with these young kids and their lives and having something to do with their progress in their lives, gave me great joy, to watch the growth of these young guys and go through the battles with them. There's so many of the kids, they grow up with one parent. And so you become a somewhat of a surrogate for them. And having a part of their lives and being a part of that was really big for me. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Right. You were in movies. You even had your own TV series for 5 years. Coach Fuller and Hang Time. And don't forget when I call you at 2 or 3 in the morning and say, "Hey, you're on the Parkers."
Right. Yeah, I remember that. I remember those messages.
Yeah. Hey, what was it like being? You had your own TV series for 5 years. You working with, you did the one thing with Monique on the Parkers. What was that like?
Kenny, it's funny. I tell people all the time I've been very blessed. Now I have had every job I've ever wanted in my life, and I've had 4 careers. And so, but everything that I've done stemmed from what I learned on the basketball court, which is what I tell kids all the time. What you learn in team sports. But memorizing scripts is not the same as shooting a jumper. Getting in front of that camera and trying to act like yourself but be somebody else at the same time, it's not easy. So I commend anybody who is in that business, but it takes a lot of work. I mean, that's like anything else. It takes an enormous amount of work to do things like that. But it was a lot of fun, a great part of my life. It was a great time because I was doing TNT at the time, and I'd roll out of TNT and I'd go right into Hang Time. And it was just kind of a great moment in my life because it was all basketball oriented, but it was, I was working 5 or 6 jobs at one time. I was in Hawaii doing the ESPN, and then in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, doing CBA basketball games. So it was I had the whole gambit going.
It had it all going. So what is Reggie Theus doing now?
Playing a lot of golf. That's one thing. I remember, it's funny. I remember Michael Jordan coming to me one day, and he says, "Reggie, when are you gonna put that racket down and pick up some sticks and start playing?" I said, "Mike, I can't get a workout. I mean, tennis. I play tennis for 2 hours and I'm good for the rest of the day. I'll play golf when my knees start getting really bad." And so obviously they did. And so at about age 40, I picked up the golf clubs and been doing a lot of that ever since. I'm doing XM radio, NBA talk radio. I'm on there quite a bit. Not one of the main guys, but really on there a lot. A lot of fun, radio is a blast because you get to kind of let it all hang out.
Right. Exactly.
You can kind of walk the edge of being, not so PC all the time. And it's a lot of fun. It's a great avenue and it's a great venue for me.
Would you ever want to go back to like TNT or just see what happens?
Yeah, no, I would love to, but it's you're where you're supposed to be. I still want to coach too, so I'm trying to do a little bit of everything and try to stay involved and connected to the game, and maybe sometime in the near future, I may be coaching again, but you never know. I mean, I've got a lot of irons in the fire, so I've always prided myself on being someone that prepares for the next 5 years. I'm always looking 5 years ahead and trying to project. So I've made moves that might take me any direction. So you just never know. I might pop up anywhere, man. Who knows?
Well, hey, wherever you pop up, we know you're going to be successful. Because that's what you are. You're successful. I hope one day you get to that Naismith Hall of Fame because the numbers are certainly there. I just didn't think you got the respect that you really deserved because, like you said, people thought you were Hollywood, but you were smart. You prepared for life after basketball while you were playing basketball.
But
I tell people all the time.
Kenny, I averaged 20 points a game and was 5th in the league in assists. One year I was 19 points a game and 4th in the league in assists, and didn't make the All-Star team. And winning means a lot. And because we weren't on winning teams, a lot of times you get overlooked in a lot of ways. It shouldn't be that way because it shouldn't matter. But those are individual accomplishments that you have to also take a look at, who you played with and why the circumstances were that way. So it's difficult, but I think that most of it is playing on national television, winning. It gives people a different taste in their mouth about you. And I think that has a lot to do with it. But listen, I've been very blessed to have a long career and a successful career. Things that I can't control, I've learned a long time ago, just let it go.
Let it go. Hey, one final question I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite teammate? Not in Chicago necessarily, but totally in the NBA. Because you played with some pretty good guys. You have a favorite teammate?
I had a lot of great teammates. Eddie Johnson, Mike Woodson, LaSalle Thompson, artists who still calls me Phony. I'll tell you a great story. I always tell the story about artists. This is a great story. So, I was big on the no look pass, right?
Right.
So I hit artists with a no look pass and he'd say, "Damn it, Reggie, I told you, don't throw me the ball when you're not looking at me." We played back in the day when my rookie year, we played back in the day where they had beer in the locker room, and artists like to drink beer, and so I came in as a rookie, and he set me down right next to him, put me in his locker next to him. So you're going to sit here, and after every game we're going to ice our knees. And I was like, wow, Artist Gilmore wants me to sit next to him. He wants to me to ice my knees so I can have a long career. So I'd ice my knees. We'd sit there and talk and stuff, and he'd drink 5, 6, 7, 8 beers or something. And I found out later on that it wasn't so much that he wanted me to sit there and ice my knees, but he wanted me to drive him home after he drank all those beers.
Hey, so the rookie hazing, right? You're the chauffeur. The rookie hazing. Hey, well, at least he was smart. He didn't drink and drive. He was smart. Hey, Reg.
It's funny, man.
Thanks so much.
How about that?
Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, thanks so much for catching up with us, Reggie. I know a lot of people always talk about Reggie Theus, man, and I just wanted to take time and catch up with you. And thank you so much for taking time out being with me today. All right.
Kenny, anytime. You know that.
Oh, man.